Hello and welcome to Good For You, the show where we talk about the things that are so good for you and where we celebrate those good for you moments in your life. I'm Lucia Drummond and I'm taking you on this adventure because I am so passionate about seeing you achieve the goals you want to achieve, but also live the life you want to live and have that quality, lekker life that we can live here in the Western Cape. I am so happy to be here on Cape Town TV and I'm so excited to chat to you today about determination. I've got some phenomenal guests that line up. We're going to talk about some great things today and we're really going to dive into a topic that I used to hate. Now, when people said to me, Lucia, it is a process. That's the last thing that I wanted to hear because it sounded so long and I wanted things to go quickly. But now looking back at life, it is a process. Many of the things that I've wanted to do, that I've wanted to achieve, took time and it took determination. And I really do believe determination is the key for you to get the things you want to get out of life. So tune in, don't change the dial. We're going to be diving in and we're going to be having a phenomenal show today. I am so excited to dive in today. We are talking determination. Now, this is a topic that will really help you unlock those things you want to see in your life that take a bit more effort than just that quick 30-second microwave job. Now, today in studio, I've got a phenomenal guest. I've got Roxanne Martinison. She's here today. She is a qualified lifestyle coach, and she's going to help us take it a level up, take the stress down, but actually get us progressing. Welcome, Roxanne.
Thank you so much for having me, Lucia.
I'm going to throw you straight into the deep end right now. Right, here we go. Okay, so we've got these busy lives, right? We've got work. And then we're still parents as well. And then maybe we have pets. And we're looking after elderly parents, some of us. And then we have to stay fit and active. And we have to catch up with our friends, otherwise they think we're ignoring them. Between all of that and the multitasking and everything, can we still focus in today's life?
I think we can. And I know it sounds like a lot, right? Really, because we do have so much going on. In between all that is also keeping up with WhatsApp and what's happening on Facebook and on the overseas, etc. But I think that focus comes from intentionality. That is about bringing ourselves back to what it is, what do we really want our lives to feel like and to be like.
Yes.
And that's how we start to prioritize. And then those big, long lists of tasks that we have to do don't feel so overwhelming anymore.
Absolutely. Okay, so just going with it. One person says, you know what, I'm like here with a kid and then I'm here on my phone and I'm doing everything. Let's just give them some tools. Give them some guidance. How can I actually get that focus going? What would you say are just a few easy go-to? Now, of course, let me just say this. You are a life coach and people go on a journey with you and you'll teach them extensively how to dive into that. But just quick, easy to use tips, what would you say?
One of the first things I would say is ask yourself, what are you doing in this moment and why are you there?
Sure.
Right? Bring yourself back into what it is that you are meant to be doing right now. We often get overwhelmed by that long list.
Yes.
We're thinking about that long list, right? We're thinking about all the stuff that needs to get done and we lose focus in this moment.
Yes.
And that's how we end up not being able to be present with our kids, with our families, and we're feeling frazzled all the time.
Yes.
By bringing ourselves back into the moment and asking yourself, what is it that I need to do here and why am I doing this? And bring yourself in. That is one key tool to just bring us back.
Absolutely.
Help us focus.
And if you want to get that focus, I've also found that sometimes you have to put stuff off.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to say, okay, I'm not going to check my emails for the next 2 hours. I will only check it at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and not in between, because every time there's a WhatsApp or an email, you get distracted. And I've actually read that it takes you about 20 minutes to get your attention back after you've been distracted. So is that email worth it? Is that WhatsApp worth it? So that's one thing I definitely say you can do. And then also asking yourself questions like, if you're saying, sometimes we have these negative thoughts, right? No, you can't do it. Now's not the time. You don't have the this, you don't have the that. So you start to ask yourself these questions like, how can I make this work? So now I'm throwing it to you. I'd like you to ask yourself right now, what are you prioritizing in your life that is not actually going to get you to your goals? Or not actually going to get you to the quality of life that you want to have? have a think, and I'd love to hear back from you on social media. Hit me up at Lucia Drummond. Now back to Roxanne. One more question before we go to ad break. I just want to know, we've now moved past focus. We can focus. We've got some tips. We've got some tools. Now we get to determination. What do you think are some of the biggest blockages when it comes to determination?
Right. So the definition of determination is actually purposeful focus.
Sure.
But I often think that when we start something and when we get that inclination to take on something big, that motivation that we feel is the thing that gets us started. But I often think that we mistake that and confuse that for determination. Determination is the grit and the resilience that you're going to need to take you to the end. So what happens is when our motivation dies, which it inevitably does because motivation doesn't last forever, we lose momentum and we stop and we give up. And what we should be doing is looking for that grit, looking for that resilience, and looking for the process that's going to help us get to the end.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, there are so many good nuggets being added here today. And trust me, there are going to be more. So if you feel like, you know what, Lucia, every single Monday I start a diet and every single Wednesday I fall off the diet, don't worry. In the next segment, we're going to tackle more of these determination problems, issues. We're going to give you tips. And we're going to help you really start to make the adjustments that will lead to the change that you want to have in your life. Now, we're only getting started. You don't want to go anywhere. Tune in, stay tuned. We'll be back after this break. Hello and welcome back. I'm Lucia Drummond and this is Good For You. We're talking about all the things that make you feel good in life. I've got life coach Roxanne here today and we are diving into determination. Now, if you missed it, we have been chatting about focus, how to gain focus, giving you some tools and tips there, and then also we are starting to get into determination right now. Now we're going to take it a little bit further and we're going to look at some phenomenal examples. People that we all know, we see them in the media, we read about them in the news, and so we're going to have a quick chat about them. Roxanne, if you look at media, athletes, the news, celebs, who would you say really displayed determination?
My favorite example is everyone's favorite person is Kim Kardashian, right? You either love her or you hate her, right? The reason that I love Kim Kardashian and why she's such a great example of determination personified is because she came from relatively humble beginnings for Hollywood, right? Her dad was just a lawyer, right? And then he catapulted into fame. She took that fame and she used it to push herself further, right? What I love about her is that despite all the media scrutiny and the misrepresentation that potentially often happens in her life, and the assumptions that people make about her and what other people are saying about her, she has still been able to build a really great business, raise a really great family, and become a real role model for women of color in the world. And I think that those three things and that kind of grit and that resilience that she displays is a really great example of her being super determined to go after the goals that she wants.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can totally agree with you because I think that any person faced with so much negativity, the haters, the opposition, and I mean, it's influential people that say, you know, it's the Piers Morgans, and it's all these people that many people listen to that speak against her and her family, but here they are. And her with a jolly old $1 billion, there she keeps going. I must say for myself, I am inspired by the Kardashians as well. I love any woman that goes for it. And then one person just on the other side, on the very serious side of life, is definitely a Steve Jobs. Like I have watched 2 of his movies. I have not read the biography yet, but it's just so amazing to see how obsessed he was with the thing that he wanted to achieve, and he just kept going for it. And he didn't care if nobody understood. He didn't care if he was making money. At some point, people complained because he wasn't wearing shoes or deodorant.
Yes, exactly.
That's how much he didn't care, you know. He was just, I'm here to do what I'm here to do. And I think that's something that we can all learn from. So 100%. Definitely a Steve Jobs. Sometimes get out of your head and get the job done. Sometimes we are so in our head. We're so concerned about the opinions of everyone, what's this one and that one and that one going to say? But at the end of the day, we don't do the thing we want to do because people that don't pay our bills, that don't really worry if we're happy or not or whatever else, has some opinion, and it doesn't actually build our lives.
No.
If you had to throw another person into the pool, who would you say?
One of my favorite all-time role models is Oprah Winfrey. We
Oh,
can't
yes.
have this conversation
Absolutely,
without talking
absolutely.
about Oprah, right? So we all know Oprah, again, humble beginnings.
Yes.
Started out in broadcasting as a news anchor with a lot of scrutiny on her being a black woman in that space, being a young black woman in that space.
Yes.
There's a famous interview where someone's interviewing her and he even asks her, do you really think you can do that? And she's like, of course I can.
Wow.
Right? And that just display of like surety within herself and knowing that this is something that she can achieve, I think is one of the, it's a key fundamental in pushing us through to get stuff done and putting us on that determination path. And look where she is today. I mean, the world of media and the world of finding one's like soul in life wouldn't exist without her.
Absolutely.
And if she didn't do what she did, and if she didn't push through, we wouldn't have media as we know it today.
100%. I have to throw a little bit of local in the mix.
Do it.
So I'm going to say a little bit of Tracy Lang.
Yes.
I must also say a little bit of Bonang.
Oh,
I had to watch a reality show and I thought, this girl, she just believes it and she goes for it. And I love that. So just those two people, their determination to have your own reality show in South Africa, to have your own app, to have 3 shows on TV running at the same time and doing radio.
Absolutely.
It takes grit. It takes the
100%.
determination, and it takes you really believing in yourself to get to that next level. So already we have such phenomenal people to look up to. And if ever we feel like, I need that example, I need someone to show me how to do it, there is no lack of inspiration, mentor, or guidance to really show you how to hit the mark, how to reach that point. So even for yourself, start to identify people that you can say, you know what, I can look up to this person and I can relate to them. Because once we feel like we can relate and we have common ground, if they made it, then so can I. So have your moment where you have made it. Before we go to the ad break, I want to ask you, you work with clients as a life coach. You help them on this journey because it is a journey. It is a process, although we don't want to use that word, but it is. What would you say out of a client experience? Have you seen a client go from that space of, I literally don't have any motivation to do anything to, no, I'm going to do this and I'm determined.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with women a lot, and I work with women in corporate who are often doing many things. They either are moms and wives and they're studying, etc. One particular client was studying towards her MBA. She was new in that business, in the organization that she was working in, and she was feeling really overwhelmed by the pressure that comes with the business, knowing that she's doing this, doing these studies, and wanting to also excel and not drop any balls in the office. And what it came down to was 3 things. One was, eat that elephant one bite at a time.
Yes.
Right? That goal can seem really overwhelming. Make a list of the things that you want to achieve, and you'll be able to tick them off. What that does is it makes the task feel smaller, so that the process doesn't feel so overwhelming, but it also gives you progress. You can go look back and say, oh, look how far I've come because I ticked all these things off. And the second thing was, find a community. Find a role model. We've just had that discussion about people out there in life who we can look up to, who have done great things.
You can't go at it alone.
Absolutely, we can't. No man is an island and no woman is an island.
And then what is that final one?
And then I think the final one is really all about knowing why you're doing this in the first place. Like, what is that like mission in your heart for wanting to achieve these big goals? And that will keep you going when that list isn't working anymore and when you can't phone a friend. Just knowing that why in your heart and that bigger why is going to help.
So there you have it, some phenomenal tips that you can use to help yourself progress. Now, we've got a lot that we're still going to chat about, and we're going to answer questions from the public. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Good For You. I'm Lucia Drummond, and today I have the phenomenal life coach Roxanne right here in studio with me. We have been talking about determination and really getting that grit together to get you to achieve your goals and to do the things that you want to do in your life. A good life is possible, focus is possible, and we're going to help you do it. Now, I have received some questions from the public, and this is the time where we're going to answer those questions. Okay, so I've got about 4 questions here. Roxanne, you are the guest, so you may choose.
Thank you so much. Let's go with number 3.
Number 3, all right. Here we are, number 3.
Yes.
Okay. I have started a number of diets and don't seem to get the results I want to get, then I end up quitting. It's like it's just too difficult for me. How can I stick to it? And this is from Janine.
Janine is all women, is she not? Especially this time of the year. Okay, Janine, we're going to help you out. So, like I was saying earlier, it's about biting that big task up into small bite-sized pieces.
Yes.
Right? What is it that you want to achieve this week? Don't think about running on the beach in 3 months' time or running on the beach in 2 months' time in your bikini. Think about this week and the small ways that you can make some adjustments to whatever it is that you want to bring in. If it's packing your food the night before so that you don't make bad decisions tomorrow and go down to the takeaway place, right? Or packing your gym clothes the night before so that you can go straight to the gym after work, or put your running shoes by the back door so you see them when you're making your coffee in the morning, you're going to put them on and go for that run. So it's about those small actions that are going to be able to get us to be more consistent, because often we rely too much on needing to stay motivated to get us through those health goals or those big goals. But when we have a little bit of a process in place and we start adjusting our habits in small ways that are not going to be too intrusive on our life, that's when we can start becoming a little bit more consistent with it, and we can start having a bit more fun with it, because it doesn't feel like such a task anymore.
Absolutely. One thing that I do find is sometimes we focus so much on the results. We want the body, or we want the money, or whatever it is, and we don't actually focus on becoming the person. So if I had to give you one tip there as well, focus on the life you want to live as opposed to just the things you want to have. So if you want to live a healthy life, if you want to feel good in your body, you don't constantly want to feel tired and have headaches. So you're not just working out because you want to have the body. Have the body by all means. Have the body. But go beyond that and also become the person. And there's so much talk right now, unbecoming and becoming.
Right.
And then it becomes cliche, but essentially it is actually so powerful. Focus on the life you want to live. If you want to have a happy relationships with your loved ones, it's cultivating those special little moments. It's not, okay, the ship came in and now we can all be happy. No, it doesn't work like that. So like you said, bit by bit, make those adjustments and go with that. Okay, so our next one, we've got more questions. I think, okay, let's go with the last one. The last one, the last one never gets picked. So let's go with this one. How do you know you are putting your determination in the right thing and not making a mistake? Yes, how do you know, you're so determined and I'm going to do this, but how do you know this is actually the thing you should be doing and not be focusing on something else?
100%. It needs to feel like a full body, 100% yes. You need to be able to feel it in your whole body. Is this really the thing for me?
Oh yes.
And that is what can spark that initial plan to do whatever it is that you need to do. Because if it feels like it belongs to somebody else, if it feels like it's coming from somebody else, my husband said I must do this, my mother-in-law said I must do this, whatever the case might be, it's not going to feel authentic to who we really are. Like you said, we need to show up as that person, and it's about knowing what that person really wants. And that is what will carry us through.
What you're saying now makes so much sense, and I feel like sometimes we have so much noise. So eliminate that noise, the expectations of other people. You have to actually find your own voice and see what that is. And sometimes it needs a bit of a process of, sweeping out all the dust and all that's happening around you to really get to the place where you want to be. Now I'm going to throw one quick one in there. Let's just see what is this number 2, right? Lauren says, I feel like I get focused on one thing and then I drop the ball on all the other areas in my life. I forget my friends, I don't give attention to any other areas. How can I stay focused in my life? We've got just a few minutes left, but let's quickly squeeze that in. How can we stay focused on what you want to achieve and also live that good life?
Like you said, it's about showing up as the person that you want to be.
Yes.
how would that person handle that situation, right? She's going to prioritize the things that are important to her. She's going to make time for the work, and she's going to make time for the friends if they are on top of the priority list.
Yes.
And that is what it's about. It's about discerning for ourselves, is the work important, and how long can I go for in work? And are my friends important enough for me to make the time for them and to invest that time in them? Because it is, at the end of the day, feeding back into who I am. It's making me feel like a more fulfilled person. It's making me feel like the person I really want to show up as in the world and be.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I can't believe we've already come to the end of the show. It's been so phenomenal. Thank you so much, Roxanne.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you that we could dive into this. You can find Roxanne on social media and you can connect with her. All the details shared at the bottom of the screen. Now, I must give you takeaways because every good party in Cape Town has a baraka to offer. So, a few takeaways today. Break it into small pieces. Don't try and eat the whole elephant at once. Find yourself a support group, a support system. You don't have to do it alone. There are so many people on a similar mission as you, and you can get those people to rally around you and you rally around them. And then, of course, also, you need to know what you really want. What is your why? What is the life you want to live? Become that person, live that life, and don't focus only on just having the things or having the things that impress other people when you on the inside are not even impressed with yourself. Stick to it. Go for your goals and live that beautiful life. It's time for us to say goodbye here in the studio. I once again have a prize to give away. I've got my beautiful affirmation cards. It's called Good Life Cue cards, and just going to help you stay positive, focus every single day. If you'd like to win one, go and comment on this post on my social media. The details are below. We'll be back next week. Can't wait to see you then. Till then, bye-bye.